Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giant football? If so, sit back and relax as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
I'm Rob.
Oh, no crying. Don't cry for me, Roberto. The truth is, the game could have been worse.
Could have been. Could have been week
really
one.
Could have been. Listen, this is going to be a role reversal, I think, for you guys this week, just to give you a heads up. So I'm going to be the positive person, and Rob's going to be the negative person, because that seems to be the way our conversation went before we started this recording here.
Yes, dear.
Yeah, I'm just saying, usually I'm the negative one here. I mean, I'm looking at it like, okay, the Giants lost to a team that, let's be very frank, if we were perfectly healthy, you would still say would be favored against us. That's a safe bet to say, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so now if we're going to look at we have three people on offense that are legitimately top five at their position. Okay, is that a fair statement to say? Three people at their position that are top five? Saquon Barkley, Andrew Thomas, Darren Waller. 2 out of the 3 were out. Then you throw into it our second best offensive lineman is also out.
Waller played. He just didn't play.
I said 2 out of 3 are out. I said 2 out of 3. Yeah. This is not a Meatloaf song. Okay, 2 out of 3 is bad.
Yeah, I was about to say.
2 out of 3
normally ain't bad, but
yeah. Then you go on the defensive side of the ball. Azeez Ojulari out. No, hold on. We're going to get to the sacks. There were 2 sacks first off. We're going to get to that in a minute. So Azeez Ojulari's out. DeRay Jackson is injured at one point and comes back in, but that means he's not 100%, obviously. Deonte Banks leaves the game with an arm injury. We're still going to have to wait for an update on that. We'll give you guys an update whenever we do hear one. So you have a banged-up secondary, your second best pass rusher from the edge position, at least. Your 2 top offensive linemen out. Your running back, who is one of the best weapons on your team, if not the best weapon on your team, also out. And we go into the fourth quarter still down by 1 score. Now, the game got away in the fourth quarter. Don't get me wrong. Fourth quarter went like it was just a diarrhea of mess. Like, all out. But to have all those injuries, guys, and be down by 1 score going into the fourth. I hate to use moral victory and those kind of terminologies in this because don't get me wrong. The goal is to win. I want to win. But that's not horrible. This is not the 40-0 loss to the Cowboys, folks.
Yes, you got that moral win, but still, we were in that game in that first half. We were in that game, even in that third quarter. They just let it go. Darren Waller couldn't catch. He couldn't catch if anything was hit right in his boom numbers. He wasn't effective in this game. Brightwell had some good runs. Bretta showed up, which, yes, but I need to get some of those explicit words out of my system. I curl my mustache for this.
Okay, we're giving the warning then. There will be explicit language in this episode, folks. All right. You are now clear, Rob, for cursing.
What the fuck happened? We were looking good.
What the duck?
Yes, what the duck happened? Like, the Giants played pretty well against that defense in that first half. What the fuck happened in that second? The Giants offense was putting up and moving around. What the fuck happened?
You want me to tell you what happened? I'll tell you point blank what happened.
I know what happened. It's just
besides we lost. I mean, the big thing is you can't lose time of possession as badly as the Giants did and not have the defense break down. You cannot miss tackles, especially on third downs, and get off the field. So the 2 takeaways on that really is the offense couldn't get shit going, since we're okay to curse now. Couldn't get shit going. And the defense couldn't do what a defense is supposed to do, and that's stop the other team by tackling them and bringing them to the ground.
Yes,
when you hold on to do an arm tackle or you hit them without wrapping up, like that's not going to work against this team. We talked about it on the preview episode.
We did.
That doesn't work.
Debo, you can't do that too.
Christian McCaffrey.
You can't do that to Presbury. No, and we just kept trying to do that. Like we stopped those guys for the most part in the first half, and it's just for whatever reason we let up. We let up.
Exactly.
We're trying to do a different scheme in the second half, which wasn't working.
Well, let's do this here. Do you guys want to go over offense or defense first? Let's see if we got any comments here. Tell us which ones you want us to go first. We got to break it down piece by piece here. So far we just got a Niners fan talking about McFadden. So let's go into defense then. Let's go right into that.
Yeah, let's go to defense. Like I have to say, like he's right. McFadden had a great game. We doubted McFadden a lot this year, but he stepped up his game.
Beast.
Even left the game to come back and make some good tackles. He looked good this game. He was
10 tackles, 9 solo, 4 tackles for loss. You definitely can't say that McFadden had a bad game. That's for damn sure.
No.
And Okereke was right behind him with 9 tackles for 6 solos and 1 QB hit. So both the linebackers did their job.
Yeah. You got
keep in mind the 49er offense, a lot of it is predicated about getting guys towards the outside and making the secondary do the tackles. And that's what stinks about this kind of game is because you get guys that are now, 190 pounds trying to tackle guys that are 230 pounds. It's not going to work very well. But you got to wrap it up. It's like it's like having promiscuous sex on a first date. Okay, you got to wrap it up. You never know what's going to happen.
That's called.
You want to be.
We're going a little different than that one. I was supposed to say that's great.
No, promiscuous is okay. Consensual promiscuousness. Wow, you went to a whole different thing there.
You were talking about wrapping up like in a tackle. It's a little different from something else up.
It's for protection to make sure nothing gets through. It's the same thing.
I wouldn't compare it to a tackle.
I'm just saying, like we got to figure out a way to get that done, and a lot of that's on the outside guys. It's the corners. You saw Hawkins, who's been Hawkins. You can't make really much of a complaint on Hawkins because a 6th-round pick to come in, start at the corner position, and do very well for the most part in coverage. Kudos. As good a start as a career as you can ask for. But he's one guy I saw a couple of times just totally miss on the tackles. Totally missing the tackles there. So, I think the Giants secondary needs to go back and do a little tackling drills. That's because that's definitely an issue overall. And, it's something we got to figure out how to.
He almost went for the big hits without actually trying to make contact, is what it looked like to me.
But we do have one big hit.
We wanted him to make big hits, but you have to make the contact when you make those hits.
Yeah.
And you know what? Sometimes you don't have to make the biggest hit in the world to wrap up to stop someone.
Oh! You can say wrap it up, but I can't.
Oh well, you use it in different context. Big difference.
It is big. But anyway,
wrap it up.
I think we do got to do a little bit of celebrating that we actually got some sacks here. We talked about the fact that in the end, the Niners weren't a team that would necessarily have the best offensive line in the world. They had one of the best offensive linemen in the world, but not the best offensive line as a whole. So we definitely got, some pressures. We got 6 QB hits on the night, 2 sacks. Kayvon Thibodeau gets his first sack of the season. So maybe fans can back off a little bit because, let's be honest, I hate to word it this way, but I don't think he's mentally tough enough to take New York fans going after him like that. At half
this year, last year he seemed pretty good. This year he
fans didn't get on him last year. The expectations went up. That's the difference. The expectations went up.
Listen, he looks like he picked some pansies this year.
DJ Davidson got half of a got half of a sack. Leonard Williams got half of a sack. Like we said, we got 6 QB hits of the night. Leonard Williams got 2 of them. So Leonard Williams actually had a pretty damn good game there. 6 tackles overall, too. The big thing that I got to ask, and this is in a reference to our defense, but it's really a reference to the 49er offense. We talked about Trent Williams before. Again, probably the best left tackle in all football. I have to ask the question, especially since we're allowed to curse now, since we've already given the warning. Why the fuck was he still in the game? You threw a punch. You should be out of that goddamn game at that point. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely goddamn ridiculous. Now, did A'Shawn Robinson go up to him where he probably should have just backed off and let it be after the first initial shove? Yes, but in the end, what he did was he went up to him and stopped himself before he did something stupid. But Trent Williams punched him point blank in the goddamn helmet. As we see the comments also about the holding as well. That's fine. It's holding every single play. I'm fine with the holding. That's football. It's your job.
There's a difference between holding.
Get called. Yes.
There's a difference between holding and physicality of a punch.
Yeah. Should have been out of the game at that point. And I hope the commissioner's office comes down on him, suspends him, because that's ridiculous. You do not punch someone in the middle of a game. And first off, he's the one who pushed Robinson to begin with.
Yeah.
So it's not like Robinson just went up to him randomly. He pushed Robinson. Robinson goes up to him. He goes to punch him and connects with his helmet. In the days of the concussion issues being prominent like they are in the NFL, the commissioner needs to set an example and say point blank, you punched him, you went for the head, you're out of the game. You're done.
Yes, I agree. You know what? Football is a contact sport, but at the end of the day,
it's not boxing.
If you had an open hand, all right, I may be able to forgive that.
You know what I'm thinking of now?
Listen,
I'm thinking of the movie Master of Disguise. The slap boxing machine and everything. Remember that?
Yeah.
Going to be a master of disguise. I'm going to be a master of disguise. But seriously, I really hope I see something from Goodell's office saying he's suspended next week because he deserves to be. And in all fairness, it's not going to hurt the Niners for playing the Cardinals anyway, but it sends a message. It really does send a message. But like I said, overall, the defense, I really don't have much complaints on except the tackling. I think that's the only issue I really have, because in the end, we were facing a team that's better than us. I hate to say it, but I try to be the realistic fan. The 49ers are a better team than the Giants. That's not me talking crazy. You ask anybody who watches football on a regular basis, they will probably agree with me. So you throw in the fact that, I know they're out one player, Brandon Ayuk, who's a really good player.
I mean, we also talked about, too, when we were talking about this game to begin with, like, a lot of people, like in Dakota, was in the comments saying, "Oh, what happened when he went to the playoffs?" So guess what? Their third-string quarterback, who's the starter now, ripped his bicep and couldn't throw the ball. They probably should have beat the Eagles that game.
My biceps are ripped too.
Yeah, at the whole 11 inches.
They're 12. The full footer. But yeah, like I said, I think that's the big takeaway from here is, I think on the defensive side, is they did a damn good job. They got tired towards the end of the game because they were in the game too long. They got a pass rush going, which is something that we've been missing. We came close to getting our first turnover multiple times. I can't believe how many times we almost got that first interception, because
I was flipping on the couch. I was like, so close, so close, so close. All right. I felt like Sweet Caroline.
Pitching.
So close, so close, so close.
So close? What? It's so good, so good, so good. When is the last time you've gone drinking at an Irish bar?
Well, listen. Are you going to say so good for a missed interception? No. So close.
Where does Sweet Caroline come into this?
Because I kept saying so close, just like Sweet Caroline.
Bob,
so good, so good.
Bob.
So close, so close.
No, it's so good. Close. It's so good. Oh my gosh. Anyway, like I said, I think the defense, and it's weird because you're not going to often go to a game and give up 30 points to go. The defense didn't do a bad job, but I really think the defense didn't. Again, the fourth quarter, we totally collapsed. We gave up, 10 points additional to the Niners. But going into that, we gave up 20 points in three quarters. We were still down by a score. The defense did their job. Absolutely did their job. If you look at the numbers for the night, there was a couple of guys who really killed us, and we talked about these guys going into the game, and that's exactly who killed us.
Yeah.
Debo Samuel, 6 touchdowns, 129 yards, 1 touchdown. And honestly, that touchdown, kudos to him, because that was a well-placed ball by Purdy. You can't even blame the Giants on that one. That was just perfect play. Absolutely perfect play. In fact, both of the touchdowns both the touchdowns I thought were very well covered overall. It just happened to be perfect placement. The second touchdown, of course, went to the rookie Ronnie Bell from Michigan. We talked about him during our draft episodes there in wide receivers. He had 2 catches. One of them was the touchdown, 24 yards. Also had a key stop on a punt return as well, which put us in a really bad position as well. So good game by him, by the young kid there. So George Kittle, we talked about him potentially coming alive because of the fact that what did the Giants do? They make tight ends come alive. Well, guess who came alive, folks? 7 catches, 90 yards on the day there for George Kittle.
I mean, let's not be too shocked, because what can't we stop? Run or tight ends?
That's what I'm saying. We talked about this ahead of time. It's almost like, it's funny how we know it's going to happen. We call that it's going to happen every single preseason, every single pregame here. We do every single game, every single episode
preview episode.
The preview episode. Yeah, sorry, it's late, folks. It's almost midnight. We talk about it, and then it happens. But yet, it just shows how crazy the NFL is, because it's not just us that knows what's going to happen. I'm not trying to make it seem like we're that much of a genius that we should be coaching a team or anything like that. But like, people know what's going to happen. It's much easier to stop it than just to see what's going to happen. So Christian McCaffrey on the night, 18 carries, 85 yards, and 1 touchdown. 5 catches, 34 yards as well. So, the big 3 there, he just took Brandon Ayuk out and put George Kittle in, and they were the ones who crushed us. Brock Purdy had really good numbers on the day. 25 of 37, 310 yards with 2 touchdowns, sacked twice. At least got to give something optimistic here. But honestly, he didn't look that good. A lot of what it was the yak yards. He did a lot of short passes that really padded his stats. I didn't think he looked nearly as good as the numbers will show on that. But wasn't a bad game. It just wasn't as elite a game as the numbers make it look like for him.
It may make the comparison. He almost looked like DJ to a point without running. With the yards he threw to who he threw to is the difference of the yak yards that made the big difference. Like when you throw
we couldn't get a
5-yard pass. When you throw a 5-yard pass and it turns to a 24-yard play, it's a big difference from when you throw the pass and the guy gets tackled compared to the guy that you throw a 5-yard pass who turns it into a 19-yard gain from that 5-yard pass. And guess what? Your quarterback is still getting those yards. And that
100%.
He had that all night. Look all night. I mean, look at Kittle. Look at Kittle. Like how many passes he had under 5 yards that he turned into first downs?
Debo the same thing. The same thing.
From the negative yards.
Exactly. All right, let's get into some of the comments here, and then we're going to go over some of the offense there for you guys here. First off, we got Emmanuel here, who's a Niners fan. He says, "Was tough game for a while. McFadden is a dog." Welcome to the show, Emmanuel. There, glad. See, a nice conversation from a fan who's not a Giant fan. And see, maybe some of these Cowboys fans can listen. Yeah. But here we go. Speaking of Cowboys fans, here's one. John says, Dallas fan here. Book it right now. Commanders knock off Buffalo on Sunday. We'll see. I don't think so personally, but we'll see.
I mean,
Deb says, where was Hyatt? We're going to get into that. We go into the offense in a minute, but I do want to address that because I don't blame the Giants for him not really being involved. CP's New York Sports, brutal game, fellas. By the way, guys, especially for those of you watching on video, because you can see everything on there. CP's New York Sports. Go to the page, give it a like, give it a follow there. Always love to support other content creators there. Says this was abysmal. Refs aside, abysmal. The refs. Woo. Listen, I don't know where to put the refs in this conversation because the refs, I feel like the refs were definitely betting on the game.
Yeah.
Like,
Just the NBA?
They were determined to make sure that spread didn't happen there because they made some really bad calls, I thought too. Let football be football sometimes, and that wasn't happening. Especially I'll give it on the Leonard Williams when he hit Brock Purdy and he landed on him and to give him like stop. I said I'm all for protecting players' health. I'm 100% for that. But when you slow it down and you watch it in slow-mo and you go, wow, that was difficult to stop, then you know it was a difficult thing to stop because that's slow-mo.
Yeah.
Watch it in real time. That's why I wish they would show it in real time close up like that so you can see how difficult it is to stop a 350-pound force in motion. This is the Newton's laws of physics.
Let's stop it in 25ths of the playtime.
Yeah. Like you try stopping something that's railroading at you at 350 pounds within 2 feet. Like it's not going to happen. And he fell over on him. Tough. It's football. Deal. Get up and move on. CP's also says, salute to you all for coming on here after such a game. Hey, we come on no matter what game. We're going to come on for the Dallas game. We're coming on for no matter what game.
Well, that's cursing.
Beef says, I guess the offensive coordinator was calling the plays today and not the coach. Well, we'll get to that in a minute because I actually have a theory on that one there a little bit there today. CP also says Deontay Banks needs to learn to tackle. Listen, all of the secondary needs to learn to tackle. All of them. Juan Jones up says, Giants started good. The superior team was obviously going to easily win in the end. Listen, I wouldn't say easily because there was plenty of times where I was like, listen, if the Giants do this and this, all of a sudden it's a tie game. Like, that was a close game. I'm not upset with that game at all. I really can't be. See. Yeah, it's really slow for some reason. These transitions. CP says, Xavier McKinney, come on now. And then he says, Kayvon actually had a good game. He had a sack. Honestly, I'd have to rewatch the game before I say if he had a good game. He had the one penalty called at him that was really stupid that helped him get a touchdown. But he had a sack. And people look at the sacks and go, okay, he had a good game. There's plenty of times that
people forget about the pressures.
I didn't see him anywhere.
He puts out.
But I didn't see. There was some stuff I saw, like I did see him miss one of the lanes again and allow the edge not to get covered, which ended up being a huge game on a catch and burn there. He had the pass interference call on him. It's not illegal contact he got called on him after 5 yards.
Illegal time. Yeah,
I'd have to rewatch the game before I give an opinion on him at that point there. Juan says Daniel Jones is not that good. Listen, we're going to get into Daniel Jones in a minute, but bite your tongue. That man did everything he possibly could have today with crap around him.
Yeah.
CP says, I genuinely want to know that DJ slander after tonight. Out of anyone, how is he the scapegoat for this team? He's the scapegoat because he's the quarterback and he's well paid. That's all that matters. It's all that matters right now. Trent Williams punching and holding, CP says. Holding. Beef says, there were probably 3 interceptions that we should have made. And 100%. And honestly, that's the difference potentially on the game. That legitimately is potentially the difference on this game. Imagine if we had caught one of those 2 interceptions early on. That could have totally swung the momentum 100%. 100%.
Big time.
See, John Anderson says, there goes another crap night game. Played good, then crap. Waller, where are you, TD man? Breda, crap running yards. I just don't get playing bad with this talent, bad O-line or not. 1 sack by Tibbs. Yeah, we'll get into Waller in a minute on the offense too. He said, CP says, guys, Giants should not have been even contenders coming into the season year 2 of this regime. I think a lot of people forget this. Yeah, listen, we may be ahead of pace on the rebuilding, but you can't. I'm going to politely disagree with you there, CP, because we went to the playoffs last year. We spent a lot of money and a lot of momentum making moves this year in the offseason now. So Giant fans want to see improvement. And if it's not improvement, they want to at least see the same level of play they saw last year. And let's be frank, we haven't seen that. We haven't seen that. We've literally been leading the game after 1 quarter this entire season. That's not good, folks. Now, at the same point, one bit of good news I'll give you guys. Now, me and Rob disagreed a little bit on our picks for what we thought game by game this season. we're exactly where I expected us to be right now.
Yeah.
I expected us to lose to the Cowboys. Cowboys are a better team, guys. I hate to say it. They are a better team right now. We lost to the 49ers now. Again, 49ers are a better team, guys. We beat the Cardinals. Worst team. We're where we should be at this point. We just got to hope that we can get healthy for next week and beat the shit out of the Seahawks. That's what it boils down to.
Let's not forget, our second half's like a lot better of a schedule for us, minus the Eagles.
Yeah, it really is. All right. Agent 49er. How about those Niners, he says. But then he says, much respect to the Giants, though. They play tough, guys. Look at that. Maybe we're not used to it because we're used to the Eagles and Cowboy fans, but the Niners fans, and so far in the chat, have been very, very nice. Deb says 100% correct. CP's New York Sports. I always want to shorten the name on him, but I wanted to make sure it's a real one because he's got an actual channel. I want to help people get over to him. John says we have no pass rush. Can't win without it. O-line still bad. Can't win without it. Listen, we had a pass rush.
Yeah,
you can't blame the pass rush, John.
Yeah, none of this one.
I don't know if you were drinking during the game and you missed something because you saw twice the offensive linemen and thought they were just doing very well or what the deal. But I mean, again, we had a ton of QB hits. We had a ton of pressures. We did good. We just couldn't tackle, couldn't stop them. And that's the problem. All right, guys, let's get into the defense, though. Before we do that, though, of course, what we have to do. Offense, sorry. Before we get into the offense, told you this is what happens. We record at midnight. Before we get into the offense, though, got to pay the bills.
Enjoying the show.
Pay the bills.
Looking for more goofball action? Consider a membership at buymeacoffee.com/2 Giant Goofballs. Memberships start at just $5 and give you additional goofball access. One-time support payments also available starting at just $3. Buymeacoffee.com/2 Giant Goofballs.
All righty, on to the offense. So, yeah, not much.
I guess we start with DJ.
Yeah.
I mean,
137
yards, one interception, 22 attempts. After 32 attempts, he had 22 completions with short passes. Didn't look so good. I mean, we can't talk much about that offense.
Ding. It wasn't even a dunk. It was just dink.
Yeah.
it was like the little Yodas and Spaceballs, the movie. Ding.
Yogurts. Is it yogurts?
Yogurt. Oh, yeah, I can't say Yoda. That'd be copyright infringement.
Yeah.
But
yogurt.
That's all he could do. And listen, guys, I know a lot of people are saying, what the hell? Why didn't we throw the ball downfield? I'm seeing a lot of people on social media, and I saw Deb ask the question, obviously, earlier as well. Where was Hyatt during this whole thing? Listen, guys, there was no shot of getting down the field. He had like a 1 Mississippi, not even a full 2 Mississippi before people were on him. You can't throw the ball down the field then. You can't.
The only time
now,
he
what
had
you
time,
need to do
the only time
is
he
do
had
what
time,
the 49ers did.
Set a couple extra guys up on that line. And that's the only time he had some time to play. And besides that, like, he was under pressure. He really was trying to run for his life.
Under pressure from the 49ers.
Coming down on Jones. Coming down on Jones.
But it's like, what do you want this man to do? Like, he can't just throw the ball and like go like Sue Storm from the Fantastic Four here and go invisible so the defenders go right through him. Like, that's not an option, people. Like, he has to throw the ball away or else he's going to get creamed into the ground here. So he would do short dink and dunk kind of stuff. It's no surprise at all that his leading pass guys, besides Slayton, who's the one guy who can get some yardage on him, was Gary Brightwell, the running back, who had 2 catches for 31 yards. Paris Campbell, 6 catches for 24 yards. Wan'Dale Robinson, 3 catches for 21 yards. And Darren Waller here, 3 catches, 20 yards. The only guy who's a get down the field kind of guy that actually got the ball at all tonight was Darius Slayton. And to a certain degree, Darren Waller, because Darren Waller plays mid to long range kind of catches at that point. But we'll get into him in a moment because not too happy with him tonight. But the big thing is that Wandale and Paris, both of them, when they got the ball, those were designed yak catch kind of patterns where you're supposed to catch it, turn, get up the field, get another 10, 15 yards, hopefully. And what happened instead is they'd get the ball, they turn, and get tackled. Now, part of that is good goddamn defense. Sometimes you have to give it up to the team and say, you know what? You played a damn good game. You did exactly what you had to do in those plays. And that's what they did. But other times, you also have to go, we need to change it up. We can't keep doing this. But part of the problem you run into is you can't throw short, you can't throw long. Where are you throwing?
Gotta do what you gotta do. Like at the end of the day, like you said, you want to throw a 40-yard bomb, but you need 2.5, 3 seconds to do that. There was no time to do that. Like
none.
Every time that DJ escaped the pocket, you know what happened? He was still under pressure. He had to run for it, or do a dink and dunk play, where it was a 2-yard play. Like it just didn't work for him. Like it just. You have to give it up. Like
as efficient as he possibly could have been, given the circumstances.
Yeah, and Drew, for you to say that, as much as I'm mad at this game,
I know you love him using Daniel Jones, but I'm saying I'm just looking at this legit, saying he did what he could. You know, if you look at some of the drops he even had, we'll go into the topic I mentioned, kind of alluded to a minute ago. There was a few catches that Darren Waller point blank should have had.
Yeah,
you want to be the leader of this goddamn offense as far as the receivers, the weapons. That's what Darren Waller all off season. Oh, he's the leader. He's the number one.
Spectacular.
He's the big guy.
Fantastic.
He's the best ever.
Marvelous.
But what happened? What happened today? How many of them hit his hands? Hit his jersey? He had like 2 or 3 that I remember. Yeah.
There's one that I'll forgive because it was a designed over the head catch because he's a big body guy, but he still dropped the ball. But there's there's 2 that was in his chest, and he was getting hit, but still dropped.
As I look at the stats, here's if I see if my memory is correct or not on this. 3 catches, 20 yards, 6 targets. That means 3 of them he didn't catch, obviously. There was the one he had that was just kind of a throw it up there. He had to turn around and kind of try to catch it. I'm not mad at him missing that one. That's fine.
Yeah.
But there was one that he had to just jump up a little bit and would have caught it. And he had one that bounced right off his chest.
Correct.
Now, the one that bounced off his chest, folks, that's DJ's interception. That's his interception. The 3rd game in a row that Daniel Jones gets stuck with an interception that really should not be his. And I'm telling you right now, if you are a pass receiving player for the Giants, I don't care if you're a running back, a tight end, a receiver, a halfback, a offensive tackle that's going for a touchdown like Andrew Thomas did a couple of years ago, you should take this personal. You guys are effing up his stats and making him look worse than he is. For a guy that literally is supposed to be the one that makes you look better and tries to do that on a weekly basis, and you're making him look like crap. That's on him. And then real quick, because we do have a Eagle fan in here that wants to be the jerk line. It says, as Eagles fans, thank you for paying Daniel Jones. The idiot provides comic relief every week. Hey, Jeff, you're a moron. You don't know football. Shut up. I'm just saying a point blank just like that. You don't know football. If you watch this game and you think Daniel Jones had a bad game, you're a moron. You don't know football. That's played out how it is, Jeff. I'm not going to mince words because you guys also
say that when you play the Pats.
Yeah, you guys also played a mediocre quarterback. You just have a better line. Watch and see over time. But that kind of stuff just annoys me. It's like, what do you want him to do? Just to just jump over people like Superman and start throwing the ball from 15 yards up off the ground? There's nothing he could have done.
Yeah.
I mean, how bad is it when Evan Neal gets hurt and we're like, oh no.
Who's going to play for him?
Like, seriously, that's what it's gotten to. Like, Evan Neal, obviously, he hurt his ankle towards the end of the game. Matt Perp went in there in his replace. So you end the game with Josh Azuto at left tackle, your backup guard. Shane Lemieux at the left guard position. congrats Shane Lemieux and actually finished a game for the first time since I think 2020 or 2021.
We'll give
JMS, the lone guy who's in who's been in the correct spot the whole season. And right guard Marcus McKeithen, who we weren't even sure was going to make the 53-man roster. And now Evan Neal gets taken out for Matt Pert. And it's like,
here's our second line offense.
Like listen, if you are a Giants fan, especially, like, ignore this guy, this troll in the comments section here, because he's still going at it here. If you think that Daniel Jones played a bad game in this and he's not playing well, and you're a Giants fan, I ask you to watch this game again and look at what he did. I'm still not saying he's an elite quarterback. I'm not in that ballpark. But what the hell could he have done? There's nothing you could have done with this scenario. Absolutely nothing. Especially when they were pinned back, ears ready to go at that point, because they gave up on the run. 100% gave up on the run. We had 11 carries the whole entire game, guys. Keep in mind, 2 of them were Daniel Jones. Only one of those was actually a design run. So you're talking 10 intended rushing plays. Now, there was 33 pass attempts. So you got 44. I'm just looking at the stats that way. 44 offensive plays. Only 10 of them. Only 10 of them. That's it. Yeah, that's bad. When you're 20% of your plays are rush and 80% are passes, what's the pass rush going to do? Pin their ears back and go right for you.
Yeah.
And I still want to know what happened on that one play that Joey Bosa got that sack. Sorry, not Joey Bosa. Nick Bosa. I always confuse the Bosas. Nick Bosa got that sack. Why would you go ahead and put Daniel Bellinger off the offensive line, have him come back inward to block Bosa? You have literally one of the best pass rushers in the entire NFL. And you have your tight end, not even your tackle, being the one blocking him. And you're putting him off the line, expecting him to come back in to do that. That's stupid. Sorry, but that's stupid.
That is bad play call. 100%.
Yeah. And we had the topic last week of, did Dable call the plays? And I don't know if it's going to come up this week or not, but if you notice, there was a couple of times that he was covering his mouth again. There was a couple of times that happened. So, I think that it's conversation's going to start having a hat a little bit there, because I don't know what you could have done with this game here. So I'm not going to be calling for Kafka's head here, but
yeah,
they got to figure out something that this offense is going to go. And hopefully it's next week. We get Saquon back. We get Andrew Thomas back. We get Ben Bredesen back. And we can be, more respectable, legitimate offense. Because keep in mind, we don't play till Monday next week.
Yeah, we don't play till Monday, but I don't know if we get Shaq back. He's supposed to be out for 3 weeks, and he missed this week. Yeah, we got 11 days off. Maybe. The MRI said it's not a high ankle sprain, so hopefully we can have him back for the Seahawks. But at the same time, if we want to keep the season going, let's maybe keep him healthy.
Oh, the big thing is honestly getting the offensive line just healthy at this point.
Yeah,
I think that's a bigger issue than not having Saquon tonight. No disrespect to Saquon, but I really think the biggest issue is the fact that we didn't have anybody to actually guard. Daniel Jones getting smacked down to the ground every 2 seconds. So I think that getting Andrew Thomas back hopefully next week, is going to be a big thing. Getting Ben Bredesen back is going to be a big thing. And I think after this game and seeing the issues that we're having again on offense, I do wonder if Justin Pugh gets the call. And if he gets a call and goes into that right guard's position, now we just improved 3 out of the 5 positions overnight from what it was this week.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Q is great. Do not read me wrong. I'm not saying he's great.
He's better than our backup right now.
I think, he's better than the guys we have playing now, assuming he's healthy. Well, obviously, we haven't seen him since he's had the ACL injury last year, so we'll see. All righty, let's get into the last couple comments here, except we're going to skip over Jeff Barbers because he's just in here trolling, which is funny because, if I was going to troll a franchise, I wouldn't troll the franchise that has 4 rings when I have 1. Just me personally. I would go for somebody who, has a shitty franchise, not one that is known for losing the Super Bowl. Personally, that's just me.
Like the Eagles.
But yeah, like the Eagles. That's definitely definitely one of those guys that All right.
Talks about like a Tom Brady kind of quarterback that has a great offensive line. Actually, you can't even say Tom Brady because Tom Brady was awesome. Jalen Hurts might be out in the next 2 or 3 years over there.
Like I said, they'll realize eventually what they have there. Once they start losing some of the linemen that protect him and he has to go to regular line, he's not that good. All right. Yeah. Anyway, let's get into there. So CP New York Sports says, salute y'all. Fantastic stuff as always. We'll catch you guys in the next go around. Appreciate it, man.
Salute.
John says, run game was non-existent. Shake my head. I still want to say smack my head, by the way, every time I see that.
Well, you can't say on that one because it wasn't there, but yeah. Either way, it goes.
John says receivers need to cut fast, get open, especially with O-line. Got to stop with excuses. If not, we're screwed. If there was a look at the yards, 150 to 441. Yeah. I mean,
their secondary played very well, and Drew and I talked about this in the preview game. I said, listen, we have to set up a great play action to put a spy DJ and our running backs, and guess what? We didn't run that well. So, they left it out there for our receivers.
Yeah. Like I said, it was just disappointing game. But again, somewhat optimistic because we didn't get – I think we lost nearly as bad as the score shows, personally. John says, someone posted that Saquon said it was indeed a high ankle sprain. So which one is it? I'm confused. I'm going to go with
MRI. Said no.
What? MRI said what? No.
That it's not a high ankle sprain. From all the Giants insiders that I've listened to, Pat Trada, and all of them, they're saying no. I'm just
going to go with this very simply. It doesn't matter. They told us 3 weeks. Expect him to be gone 3 weeks. I don't care high, mid, low, whatever. I don't care where it is.
But listen, if you have high ankle sprain, it's going to affect you for half the year.
Oh, yeah. But it's, in all fairness, it's an ankle injury on a running back. No matter what, it's going to affect you when you get back.
There's a big difference between a high ankle sprain and a regular sprain in the ankle.
Listen, I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV, damn it.
I just watch them talk about it in football. And let me tell you, high ankle sprains take you out and you have to wear a boot.
That's pretty much all I know is things from football as far as medical. It's funny how they're like, oh, well, there's a tear of the MCL. I'm like, oh, that's the one that does this. The doctor like, how do you know what that is? I watch football. Let's see here. John says, Pew, pay him. Rather risk with him than others. There's nobody else out there, really. That's part of it.
Yeah.
Joe Tisdale, long time no hear from, buddy. Says, still listening to every pod of work, guys. Hard for me to catch y'all live. Can't do shit without protection. Play calling has been underwhelming. I hope they figure things out in the next 11 days. Joe, first off, good to hear from you again. Like I said, it's been a while, man. Glad you're still listening to the podcast. We definitely still appreciate, even though we do a video live, we talk to the video guys more. We definitely appreciate everybody who's listening in on podcast land as well. We've actually seen a huge increase in the audio podcast downloads lately as well, too. Like literally twice the number. So seriously, anybody who's new to the show,
thank you.
Much appreciated. Thank you very much. It's awesome. It's great to see growth. That means you guys must like it, or you just keep hitting the download button to make us feel better. Either way, we're happy about it. But yeah, that's what it boils down to, guys. They had 11 days to figure out and get their shit together. That's what it boils down to. And when you start going down the rest of this season here now, we played 2 of the 3 first games here against really tough opponents. So I'm not upset at being 1-2. It's where I expected to be. What I'm going to be upset is we don't start winning. So we got to get healthy. We got to get stuff going. And Seattle is a team I think we should beat. If you look at how we did last year against them, it was a very close game. You know, kind of like this, but the difference is they weren't a better team than us last year. They just played better than us that week. Plus, we had the Richie James fumbles. Obviously, that doesn't help things either. Made it much more difficult to come back in the game.
And the Seahawks aren't playing as tough as they were last year at this point. In the year. So take advantage of it.
So yeah, so guys, good game to watch this weekend. Obviously, will be the Seahawks game. You know, take a look at our opponent here and see what they do. But they are playing the Carolina Panthers, who will be starting Andy Dalton. So fair warning, they're going to look a lot better than they actually are if you watch that game. Because anybody who's good playing against the Panthers with a backup quarterback, that's all I'm saying there. But
let's go firecrackers.
Nice thing is, guys, at least the rest of this week we can just sit back, enjoy, watch football, not have to care too much in the outcomes for a lot of this stuff here because it's early in the season. So you know, enjoy this Sunday. Watch some football, relax, enjoy. We get a nice little break here as well. You know, you guys have this is 5 days in a row you guys have had to deal with us. So, you know, we get a nice little break now. So you got, you know, next 3 days you won't be seeing us. We'll be back on Monday. Monday.
It's almost 4. It's technically 4 days. You got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We come back.
Monday we're back. So I'm saying so 3 days off. 3 days off. And then we'll be back with our usual schedule next week, obviously, because we are playing a Monday game. So the week after that, we'll have to adjust a little bit. Probably do a post, week reaction on the the Sunday episode instead of doing that, since we're doing a Monday episode for the actual post game. It'd be a little different there that week. But like I said, this week will be all pretty much normal there. So we'll see you guys back again on Monday night.
So, brother.
Appreciate everybody listening in. If you're new to the show, we always get some new people on the post game. Do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe, tell a friend about the show. We are live pretty much every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We're also doing an episode post game as well, whether, obviously typically Sundays, obviously making the change based on the schedule as need be there. So right now we're at 4 episodes a week, guys. So if you're looking for Giants content that pretty much never seems to end, trust me, that's us. We're pretty much on here nonstop here. So, but great little community here. So we love to get a chance to talk with you guys there. As always, we are live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and of course, Rob's favorite,
Drew's
LinkedIn profile. Oh yes, my LinkedIn profile. And of course, we're on every audio podcast platform known to man: Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Google Podcasts, all the big ones there as well, guys. So any possible platform that you might listen or watch, feel free to like, subscribe, and all that kind of stuff there. It helps us out. We appreciate it. As always, Giant fans, go G-Man!
Go G-Man! G-Man!
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support. If you made it this long, you must have enjoyed it. So I am sure you have followed us on all the social media platforms. Of course, you have subscribed to the show on your favorite app as well and given us a top rating. Right? Right? Right?
Thank you to those who have signed up for our silver gold levels of membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.